All right, let's head out to that studio in the sky. Crystal Sershen on the line with us. How are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I
Thanks so
am
much for having me
excellent.
on.
Well, thank you for joining the program today. Boy, when you get to Route 66 and Route 66,
Oh
you
yeah.
really realize how many of these words can be interchangeable pronounced, and that's
Yeah.
one of them right there. So.
And I understood that the song Get Your Kicks on Route 66 really helped to seal the route pronunciation
I
back in the
could
day.
see that. Yeah. And it's so funny because a lot of the people that I interview, they say route. The
Oh,
people who,
really?
yeah, the people who grew up on it.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I've
How
always
about
said
that?
Route 66 because of the song, but I'm a
Right.
I'm a child of the 80s, I'm a Gen Xer, and so I grew up on TV and
Mm-hmm.
Americana, and so that's why
Right.
Route 66 speaks to me in so many different ways. And you're an author. You've
I
got a
am.
book. One is related to Route 66, and I'm going to pull it up here. It's called Dust and Dreams. And talk about that. Let's start there. Let's go ahead and start there. So you're an author,
Yeah.
Route
Yeah.
66,
It's
Dust
Dust
and
and
Dreams,
Dreams, Roadmap
and
of the American Soul, a
a
memoir of the
roadmap to the
mother.
American soul. Okay.
A roadmap up the of the American soul, and it's a memoir of the mother road in her own words.
Well, you speak to the road.
She speaks to me,
She
and she
speaks to
speaks to
you.
everyone.
Excuse,
Yeah,
excuse me. Okay.
she spoke to me, and that's why I wrote the book.
And is there any sort of seance or any sort of ceremony that you go to, or does it just come down from the universe in its own way?
That's exactly right. It came down from the universe just like that. My friend and I were having a conversation. He works down at the Route 66 shack on the Santa Monica Pier.
Okay.
And he's been batting around ideas for a memoir for a long, long time. So he was talking about one, and it happened to be the day before Route 66, 99th birthday. So I'd been thinking about her a lot lately anyway. So he's talking about this idea, and he said it's going to be, a travels with Charlie type of thing, but on Route 66. And I said, stop. The idea just came to me. I said, what would be amazing would be to write the story of Route 66, the Mother Road, in her own words. And as soon as I had the idea, within the next 24 hours, I knew everything. I knew how it was going to be laid out. I knew she was going to speak about the cities and towns as her children. She was going to hitch rides with travelers, both real and imagined. And sorry, stop it.
No, that's okay.
My puppy dog. I made him promise not to bark. He didn't listen.
I left mine in the car.
Oh,
She she enjoys the car because it's when she
you're
was a
lucky.
puppy,
She thinks she's
road
going on
trips
a
and this and
road
that, and
trip.
so yeah. So
Yeah.
anyways, um,
So
so
I just
the
knew
the
everything.
road's kind of speaking to you, and you're writing down,
Yeah.
now are these real stories? Are these kind of just fiction stories, but they're also relatable to everyday life? Is that kind of the idea?
Right. Some of it is real because so each chapter starts out with the history chapter. It covers the decade of all the decades that the Mother Road has been alive, growing up alongside the country.
So
And
each
it's,
chapter is a decade.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's her perspective on the decade and what
Hmm.
happened, both in terms of the nation and in terms of her growth. And
And now I got another question here. Okay,
yeah,
every now and then I raise my hand. Um, now is it a mother? Is the
yeah,
road okay? So
it's
it
a
is. It's
female.
it's a
The
female.
goddess,
It's a mother
goddess,
road.
storyteller. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So each of the decade chapters is then followed by an Earth Child chapter where she features one of the towns along 66 and their significance, their personality, their challenges, their struggles, their triumphs.
Now, how
Um,
deep into the you know, I don't want to call it astrology, but I'm going to for just the
uh-huh.
sake of very shallow terms here.
Hmm.
When you say Earth Child, are these cities? Are these Earth signs? Are these
They're
You know,
cities.
okay,
So
the
it's
cities. Now, are
Chicago,
these
it's
cities with Earth
Springfield,
names?
it's
Okay, okay,
yeah, they're actual cities, and she speaks of them as though her children,
okay.
because some predate her, but others don't.
Okay,
And
just so
she learned,
I'll give you a warning here. I'm a Libra, and so
okay,
every the way I take ideas is basically I bat them back and forth like a game of mental ping pong
yeah,
until it's vapor.
got it.
So just back and forth, back, and so that's where some of these things come from time to time. But
That's
okay,
great.
so she's given birth to the Earth cities. The
Yeah,
Mother Road is,
yeah.
and the Mother Road would be a goddess.
She is. She's a
Okay.
goddess. So many people talk about Route 66 as this ever evolving, a kind of living being, people, especially people who are preservationists,
Mhm.
and that kind of thing. And she just kind of, I mean, John Steinbeck anthropomorphized her in the 1930s when he named her the Mother Road. So I just took it one step farther. She's been, moving, carrying her children across the country all these years. Um,
You know what's
so
remarkable about that, if I may interject, and
please.
hopefully I can, because this is really more of a conversation than an interview all of a sudden, is that I've got a similar path to writing a Route 66 books, which like every book, it takes you longer in the final editing phase than anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll take a month. 6 months later, we're almost done, I
Yeah.
swear. But mine was and just to make a quick story quicker,
Yeah.
um, was more of a bathroom reader type of a
Uh-huh.
approach.
Uh-huh.
66 quick facts that you can pick up and set down within a 5 to 15 minute window of reading type of a that was the basic. Just there you go.
Right.
And
Right.
from there,
See.
everything just stemmed and stemmed and stemmed. And
Mhm.
so the thing that I found to be the most amazing about Route 66, and I'm using that
Mhm.
word in its actual literal sense, is that the creativity and the different uh, uh, avenues and offshoots of this road are absolutely remarkable. Here, I
Yeah.
took a very concrete, sequential way to get to a very abstract view of Route 66. You're taking an extremely abstract way to
Mm.
almost lay out a very concrete sequential way of a road. And to me,
Yeah.
that is truly remarkable, how the different creativities are really used in juxtaposition to
Right.
tell a story and go down those different paths. And that seems to make sense to you. Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I actually lose track of what I'm saying to myself.
It's because your ideas are brilliant. No, that is brilliant. To look
Well,
at the,
thank you
the
very much.
opposite ends
Yeah, I
of the
appreciate
creative
that.
process.
And where I was kind of going with that is that out of all the different facts that I've uncovered for myself,
Uh-huh.
learning about Route 66, and I've always had kind of uh, another life fascination, romance with this in some way, because people who are attracted to Route 66, it's a different attraction. It
Hmm.
really is. And you start uncovering it, this and that. And I think the thing that really gets me is what you're going down the same path of, which is this inanimate object is
Right.
living and it's
Hmm.
got a soul and it has a
Right.
spirit. And so when,
Absolutely.
when I take a look at what the United States has done, the most amazing thing to me about Route 66 is that it's really a national park.
Yeah.
That a national park is nothing but life. And
Right.
so here we have this road that we said that there's so much culture and industrial art and life along this road that, hey,
Yep.
it's now protected under the national park. Okay, I'll shut up now and let
No,
you
that's
continue.
magnificent. I love that. And that's exactly how I feel about it. She's alive and real, and she protects, and she has shame, and she has, um, feelings about cities, about travelers. And she's always there, and she's always been there. And it took some time for people to rediscover her when they decommissioned her, but I feel the same way.
No, have you driven it?
I have. Not the
Uh,
entire route from end to end, but different portions at different times in my life for different reasons.
sure.
Um, and to speak to your question about the stories, so she hitches rides with travelers, both real and imagined. Some of the things she talks about are historical. There's a moment in the book where she's ready to be born, and she's just waiting for someone to hear her whispers. And Cyrus Avery is out standing in front of his prototype motel, hands on hips, wondering how he's going to get travelers to come to his town and generate, some life and some money around the town. And she speaks to him, and she kind of swirls up in this cloud of dust that turns into like a goddess form. And that's when she and Cy Avery connect. And she's born then. And so some of the things are real, even though I kind of, obviously made that into a little bit more of a fictional scene. But some of the travelers are real. And I did approach them just the way you said. The themes are those that speak to everybody. The wanderlust that we have, what sets us out on the road, the longing that we have, and the need for belonging that we have, that we either find in other people and other travelers, or in the beautiful nature, or the roadside attractions, or what have you. So,
What are some of the main themes of the book? Is it empowerment? Is it community? Is it
mm.
connectivity?
I
Is
would say
it,
it's
yeah,
longing and belonging. I think inside of us, one of the themes that I always visit when I think about my writing is this pull that we have to go out on the road, on the sea, to the air, to search for this kind of a home or a belonging that may very well not exist, that changes with every landscape. But it makes us feel whole in some way because we connect to something that's bigger and greater than us. And I think Route 66 and her long history and her reputation as America's Main Street really makes that hit home.
it's remarkable how many different inspirations have come out of this
Yeah.
that I've seen already. And when I first started kind of publicly, I guess just shotgun approaching it out there on social media, and I was fortunate enough to have a another kind of a media brand that I've had for the last 15 years that has a decent following, and so
Mhm.
um, it was a topic that would be appealing to them, and so
Mhm.
I call it my established audience type of a thing.
Yeah.
And it would be no different if, somebody would just use their current whatever for something that would be very close, instead of adding milkshakes, you're now saying, hey, check out this
Yeah.
malted milk, malt instead of I'm not even sure if that's a decent example, but at any rate, and the it was the artists that came out of the woodwork early, the authors and
Uh-huh.
the mural artists and
Oh, right.
the
Yeah.
lot of photographers. In fact, a grandson of someone who has the original negative from the ceremony back in
Oh,
1920.
wow.
Yeah, six.
Oh,
He said he still
wonderful.
has it. Yeah, he's in Texas, and I'm
Oh,
like, I'm pretty sure that somebody in some nonprofit or some government agency would love to have you bring that to their meeting. Um, so that's one of the more amazing things to me is that here it is a road, here it is a celebration,
yeah.
whatever it is, and it's the artists that are really um, coming to I mean, running to the front of the line, just
Right.
running there and saying like, finally,
Yeah.
let's celebrate this thing,
Right.
and they're not doing it in a way to say, look at me. That's the
No.
part that is so refreshing.
Right.
Is that it's all about the road. It's not about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's about other people's
It's about the way
stories.
people feel about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It's wonderful.
And so in your travels and in your book and this and that, uh what what elements of mental health are you folding in there? That's one of the elements of the trip, and we can talk about that in just a second, but it's such a touchy subject now, but
Right.
more and more people are feeling comfortable talking about it
Absolutely.
openly.
Absolutely.
Does your book get into that?
Well, it gets into it to the extent that so much of it is about just turning everything off and being alone with your thoughts, whether that brings freedom or the kind of scrutiny that makes you break apart. At one point she says she's, had poets and madmen and lovers and dreamers and people with broken hearts. Every story out there is different, but I think all of it is about some sort of seeking and direction inward. So I speak of it in those ways. This kind of inner reflection of what it feels like when you're out there beyond the boundaries of your comfortable place, right?
One of the elements I'm folding into the peer-to-peer podcast
Yeah.
is as I mentioned, the weekly segment on mental health. And
Mhm.
when I looked at we, as in the royal we, looked at Route 66 and folding in mental health in a way that could connect. You do have the open road, which really represents, in my opinion, an escapism, which is a
Yeah.
healthy thing, but
Mhm.
also can be a very negative too, like
Right.
most things. So you have in the escapism, you have in the conversations, because so many people now are afraid to have conversations in our triggering, polarizing conversational world. And there's even a trust factor. I was even thinking that when I'm done with this, I could probably even start a whole new brand and call it Talking to Strangers, or I Talk to Strangers instead of
Oh,
Don't
lovely. I
Talk to
love that
Strangers,
idea.
I Talk to
I
Strangers.
talk to strangers.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
talk to
because
strangers.
and it's kind of an offshoot of Fight
That's
Club
great.
where they're talking about the single serving friend. I've got the
Mm-hmm.
single serving coffee and the single serving creamer, and here I got the single serving friend. And part of that is that, to be honest, where
Yeah.
you just want to go and you just both people want to have a conversation where you just feel it feels safer than when you're talking to somebody you know nowadays with some of the
Right.
fisticuffs the way they get into. But those are some of the themes that I'm going to be folding into the mental health conversations along the road. And I think those are pretty universal with people.
That's terrific. I mean, what a great thing to fold in, something that that reflects some things that happen in each of us. And people still, even in this day and age, are really afraid to address, in public.
Is your book being received by the masses? Is it in a niche field? Is it what is it? Is it talk to me about that a little bit, how the reception is.
So I just published it in March, so it's still very new out there. All of the feedback I've gotten has been wonderful. Since it is so niche, it's a very unusual kind of book. It has been a little difficult to get it in front of the audience that I know will love it. Because it's not about, getting on the road trip and what diners to go to, or it's not about, the XYZ of it. But everyone that I have been able to get it in front of has had great feedback, and I'm thankful for that. I'm starting to make inroads with some of the Route 66 royalty, as I call them. So I have my fingers crossed that that might help me reach a broader field of people.
That's a tough market that you're in. And
Yeah,
I say
very.
that because I used to do a night show.
Uh-huh.
And it was the lead into Coast to Coast AM. If you're familiar with Coast to Coast AM, it was the overnight talk show you'd have on. A lot of times you'd have on like alien people and
Uh-huh.
conspiracies and stuff. And so
Right.
I would have on a lot of his authors because of the last hour that I was on from 7 to 10.
Yeah.
I figured, I mean, most of my audience is in bed, so the people
Right.
that are up, that's the show they like. And so I would bring on a lot of their authors and talk to them a lot of the different things. And astrology was one of the topics. Was
Oh,
one of
great.
the, yeah, whether it be numerology or different gemstones and some of the different things. And the niche area that I guess I would look at yours is, it's not that Route 66 is just a backdrop in a story of empowerment,
Hmm.
because you could argue that, oh well, this could be done anywhere on Highway 59 or could be done
Right.
on I-29, and that's not true,
No.
because what you're talking about is the energy the road is producing.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's a niche, and that's a pretty
Yeah.
niche area right there. That's
Yeah.
like in the Jerk, above the Chicklets and below the below the Racers and next to the to where, yeah. But it's a
That's
good
great.
audience, and it's a good story, and and it works because once people understand that, there's something about this road
Yeah.
that draws people to it. And I don't know if it's the numbers, because some people
Yeah.
think it's the 66 because
Right.
the alliteration and just the
Mhm.
the look of it, and
Absolutely.
other people think it's the way that the pop culture came out of it, and that could be true. That could
Yeah.
be true.
Part of
Uh,
it.
what does it mean to you, the road? What does the road mean to you?
Well, as a person who grew up in the United States and I've always been a wanderer. Even when I was 5 years old, I was ready to leave home. I love you guys, but I gotta go. I've always had that part of me, in me. And one of the trips I took on 66 was, even though I moved constantly, it was a really big one because I was about to turn 40 and I had lived in New York for 17 years and I was ready to make a big move. So I was moving to California. My best friend lent me her car. I loaded it up with whatever I had, and even though I had done it so many times before, it was kind of a big one. And I drove south and got on 66 as soon as I could. And it was just a revelatory moment for me, when I crossed over the border into California, which was where I was going. I had the music blasting, and I just burst into tears. It was so big and so emotional, and I just felt the energy of the road, and I felt her energy back then. I even include this story in the book because it was so big for me. So as a constant wanderer, and a lover of nature and adventure, it just seemed to me, particularly with the centennial coming up, the best way to honor how important, the most iconic highway in the world, probably.
Oh, it is. There's no
Yeah.
question. I mean, we just got done doing a story on Herbie, and that
I
was from,
saw it.
yeah,
That
that was
was
from Europe
so
essentially.
great.
Yeah, I mean, we've had stories from Europe and Australia, and the Czech Republic did a Route 66
Yeah,
ride in the Czech Republic. So they just
so
like
great.
created their own Route 66, and it's yeah, it's remarkable. It
Yeah,
truly is. And again, I go back to that. It is, at the end of the day, it's a national park, and
yeah.
it's
I love that.
but it's a road. And
Right.
so when I look at the art on it,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the giant animal statues and the giant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah, they're
We're
just
all gonna get
obnoxious.
that
Yeah, the was it Ruin Vacation, world's second biggest ball of twine.
all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I'm a sucker for anybody selling turquoise on the side of the road,
Oh, yeah.
pistachios, and all that different stuff. And so that to me is what Route 66 says. It
Yeah.
says small town. It says
Right.
small businesses. It says opportunity.
Yep.
And one of the things that your book talks about is the road as a partner.
Yeah.
And a partner can be so many different things, because it can be a partner in life, it can be
Right.
a partner in romance, it can be a partner in business, it can be a partner spiritually.
Yeah.
And okay, dang, Route 66 checks those boxes. I guess I don't know about the romance part because
Yeah.
I'm not quite. Everybody's got their own version of that, and so until I drive that road and understand that, I guess I'll have to wait to check that box off for a different day. But all the other ones, it certainly has those energies to it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Route 66 as a partner, how you see it in the book?
Um, I feel like so from when I first thought of the idea came to me. It wasn't mine. I felt like I knew everything about her. To me, it was this, this female, this goddess energy. Um, she'd seen America at its best, at its worst, and all the in-betweens. And had been kind of both its daughter and its mother, right? So they're all different kind of entangled relationships there. Um, and I knew her humor. I knew that she had a really good, but wry sense of humor. Um, I knew her pain for the things that she had seen. I knew her shame for certain things, like, back in the day, Black travelers not being welcome and having to carry the green book with them everywhere they went, and actually, having danger on the road. The internment camps that were along 66 during the war. Um, and I just felt her like she's kind of like the godmother of the country, because she's carried it all, and she's transported its sons and daughters and everything in between, its animals, the nature. She's just this symbol of living, breathing America.
Some of the ways I look at it is it's almost like an organized chaos at times,
Mhm.
where
Perfect.
there's the road still does offer you some chaos. Like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
go on YouTube and you can see. In fact, I just got it emailed to me last night. The
Uh-huh.
8 towns AAA does not want you to go on Route 66, and
Oh,
oh yeah,
really?
I've got and then there's a story we have coming out tomorrow. It's day 2 or 3 of this couple that's driving across Route 66, and they kind of lose track of time, and they get on the back roads of the abandoned Route 66, and they start
Oh.
freaking out, like, being
Ah,
over dramatic, like a lot of the younger generation is
right.
on camera. And so there's I look at it like that, to where, go to Oatman, and back in the day, people would pay somebody to drive their vehicle across
Right.
a certain
Those,
area because it was so sidewindy and dangerous.
right.
And today they still got the wild burros walking around there.
Yeah,
How fantastic.
they're
Absolutely fantastic.
fantastic.
And then you get towards, Chicago, and they still got some cobblestone road, and they got
Right.
bridges, and you're starting to get more into the architecture. And so
Hmm.
even though and by the way, that's the part that's kind of like desolate now. Some of the more innovative
Yeah. Right.
technologies from the 50s and 60s, that they kind of let it go by the wayside. But I look at it really as this connectivity of organized chaos, and and it really does allow creativity to I don't know, foster, I guess, maybe would be
Yeah.
percolate. But at any rate, that's I found it interesting compared to the way that you were talking about it, from more of the emotional intuition side. And here I'm looking at it more for right brain, left brain. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. But at the end of the
absolutely.
day,
Two
that's what I'm
different
talking about.
approaches, and they
Yeah,
all
and
they all lead the same place, though, in the
exactly,
end, right?
exactly. I tell people that all the time. Just because, you're taking I-94 to Minneapolis and I'm taking 29 to Minneapolis, we're still getting there. The same,
Yeah.
just different times. Mine ends up going. Mine's a little more loop-de-loo type of a
Yeah,
thing. But
I
uh,
love it.
so what's next for the book? What's next for
Uh,
you?
well, I'm gonna go on. I can't do the whole thing, although I wish I could. I'm gonna go on the part of the caravan that Reese is leading, and so we're gonna go from here from California to Amarillo and back. So that'll be fun, and that'll be a great way to connect with people. Um, and then I'm thinking about, going through to some other events as the year goes on. It really is a year-long celebration, which I think is wonderful, and there are events planned just all the way down through December. So just, get out there and meet people as much as I can. I think so much of it is about, like, we talked about our collective communal, love and feeling for the root. I think the more people you meet and just share experiences with, It's kind of the organic, kind of marketing, just meeting people and hearing about their stories and sharing the love for the road.
Yeah. Are you doing any book appearances? Or are you trying to do anything along those lines, you know?
I'm hoping to. Marketing is a full-time job, so I've been
And
contacting
expensive.
people. Yeah, well, if you're doing it yourself,
Yeah.
it's very time consuming. And I'm getting bites here and there. I'm hopeful to do all of those things.
Okay, so you're in the infant stages and
Yeah,
you're trying to create some momentum. How can
exactly.
people help you create momentum?
Yeah,
Let's get these questions phrased to a way that'll get some momentum going in your world here
that would
because
be wonderful.
it is hard right now. It really
Uphill
is.
battle,
It's it
truly.
listen, I've been in the media my whole life, and so
Yeah,
I've seen it change.
yeah.
And the media that is today is not the same media that it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's different funding mechanisms now that are very real that people just do not understand. And a lot of the people who are receiving the funding, they don't understand that they aren't part of that funding mechanism.
Yeah.
And so, because the media has changed a lot, the way that you'll notice, and you'll know this because you came from the writing side of things, that back in 2008 to 2012, about 95% of the newspapers declared bankruptcy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that was because the internet came. And
Exactly.
so when the
It
internet
changed the
came,
publishing industry completely.
but from a bigger picture, and this is not to be political here, this is more
Yeah,
of a historical thing,
yeah.
was the too big to fail
Mm,
bailout and the next two
mm,
after that. They really propped up the technology industry, which brought us like MySpace and Facebook. It created the rise of social media, and the
right.
unintended consequence of that was that it bankrupted the newspapers
Mm,
because the social media people started giving away the information for free.
Great.
And they did it without consulting any of the newspapers. And so the newspapers had to react to
Right.
this instant paradigm shift
Right.
of their revenue was just gone.
Yep.
And when when an industry is just getting funded hand over fist to create a platform, and
Yeah.
the other one is trying to figure it out, it changed. And that's what's going on right now in broadcasting and radio since COVID, because of the podcasting and
Right.
just
Growing
the
up.
at home entertainment center that you. I mean, to
Yeah.
take a look at like what Substack. I have more people that are calling me and asking me about Substack because when they spend 5 minutes there, they're like, "Oh, this is a
Hmm.
media company."
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean,
Completely.
like I have the website route66turns100.com, and
Uh-huh.
that's what I direct people to, is that when you try to say Route 66 Americana Archive, forget it.
Right. Oh yeah.
You might as well have a hyphen in your website. You know what I
Right.
mean? You might as well
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
so actually that's another reason why we have the peer-to-peer podcast, so that we can
Good.
have peer-to-peer podcast.com and that sort of thing, because your website at the end of the day, that's your brick and mortar online.
Yeah, it is.
So where can people get yours? Where's your brick and mortar? Do you have a website? Do you have a
I
Facebook?
do.
How's that
Yeah,
work?
it's my name is crystalsershen.com. Uh and
Sershen,
Sershen,
Sershen.
SEN. Yep, crystalsershen.com. And
Sershen.
if you Google Dustin Dreams Roadmap of the American Soul, it will come up. It's available at Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Bookshop and Kobo. Anywhere you want to buy it, it's available.
That's fantastic. And we'll have the links, of course, and the different
Well, thank you.
everything appropriated. And one other question I had for you
Yeah.
is, do you have any other Route 66 books or stories or memories or anything like that?
Um, well, I thought I'd share maybe one of the little marketing campaign I came up with,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun. Um, so in thinking about the book, I was trying to think of creative marketing, and I happened to be very flexible and fairly athletic. So I said, why don't we really get our kicks literally on Route 66? And as long as we're doing that, why don't we get our kicks and do our splits on Route 66? So I went down to the pier one day, the Santa Monica Pier. I only live a half a mile from it. And I had my friend take some photographs of me doing like, my high kicks and doing splits on the pier under the trail sign. And people were just fascinated. So I was like, let's make this a community effort. Let's everybody, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be a high kick. As long as you're doing some movement on the road. I was trying to get a little, campaign going where people are celebrating the road that has moved us for the last 100 years with our own movement and something for just pure, clean fun. So if you look for my on Instagram, kicks and splits on 66, you'll find me and you can submit your photos to me and I'll share them of you doing your kicks and doing your splits on Route 66 anywhere.
That's funny. You'll have
Yeah.
to get in your kicks and splits
And doing
on
your splits on Route
and
66.
doing your splits
Yeah.
on Route 66. Okay,
Yeah.
well, um, I would be into the yoga part if there's yoga involved. I guess I would do that on 66. The
Anything you want
splits,
to
not
do.
so much. I can can't quite do that. I can do a pigeon and do some bridges and some
That's
things like that.
perfect.
Yeah. But
Any kind of movement works.
I will be doing yoga on Route 66 though.
Oh, how great. Where?
Yeah, the whole way, the whole way.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm part of what I'm doing is I was going to do it with a camper. In fact,
Uh-huh.
I'm in the camper right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's my communications camper, if you will, snowbird camper.
Oh,
And yeah, I'm as of last year, last 2 years, I guess, empty nester. And so I'm transitioning into a more of a snowbird lifestyle, more of
oh,
a
great.
I'd rather live in warmer climates than
Yeah.
colder climates. And so for this trip I was going to take the camper and and some things, and then after I actually interviewed Reese Martin,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned that and I asked him about camper and this and that, and he said, well, I guess pretty sidewindy,
Right,
in
right.
the latter parts and some other areas, and that got me thinking more and more, because I didn't think, I just kind of checked the box and moved on type of a
Right.
thing. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to actually think about it, because campers are not something you're supposed to move every day. You're supposed to
Yeah.
like drop it off for a month or a
Right.
week, and
A week at
and
least.
enjoy it. Not
Right.
oh my God, okay, now I got to camp it. So I actually got out the old I call it the Moochie Mobile. It's a town and country van.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I would take to the Black Hills all the time.
Oh, great.
Yeah, because I live about 8 hours in the Black Hills, and so
Uh-huh.
and I would go there all the time. I love the Black Hills,
Wonderful.
and so I would head out there, and with the town and country, you put the seats down, and it's like a little bedroom in the back, or
Oh, honey.
a living room and that type of thing. And so
Right.
we're actually going to take that, and that way there's room to roam a little
That's
bit.
great.
And so anyway, I'm the only reason I bring that up is because in the morning, one of the things that I'm going to be doing and documenting
Mhm.
is kind of my morning coffee.
You're right.
And part of that morning coffee beforehand is going to be morning yoga and
Oh, good.
stretching and exercise. And
Awesome.
then just kind of, write out the day, get that together, um, being intentional about certain things, and kind of getting that. And then I'm going to probably listen to some birds a little bit and enjoy the sounds of
Wonderful.
nature. And yeah, and another thing we're going to be doing, that I'm going to be doing on this Route 66 as part of the mental health side of things is sending letters. So handwriting letters along the route, and then using the Route 66
Oh,
stamps to send letters.
how wonderful.
Yeah, and there'll be letters to my son, and maybe some letters of some people that I haven't talked to in a while, and who knows, maybe some atonement letters or something like that.
That's
So,
really a wonderful idea.
isn't it? It
It
really,
really is. It's
and I'm talking
beautiful.
handwritten letters too. And
Beautiful. I
end of
love
the
it.
day letter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dear son,
Yeah.
here's what I did today,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh, I love
dear
that.
Dear ex-girlfriend, here's what I did today that made me
Sorry
think of
about
you.
that time.
Exactly. While I was going through Oatman, I saw a pack of burros. And I'm just kidding.
Oh, dear.
I'm just being naughty now. Okay, so well, what do you hope to get out of this year? Because honestly, the centennial's a year and a half. It kind of the starter
Yeah.
pistol started a few days ago,
Yep.
and I joke to people that I'm going to be traveling for about 75 days and documenting.
Mhm.
And in reality, I'm not really going to even produce anything until October.
Until
So a
you
lot
back.
of the stuff I document is just going to be the social media real time
Right.
stuff. And then when I actually take some time to start producing it, my plan is to release it on the actual birthday.
Oh, how great.
And then kind of the idea would be is that if there's 55 counties, right, or
Huh?
56 counties,
Mhm.
depending on which Google, Yahoo AI
Yeah.
server you ask, they give you
Right.
different numbers. Um, is that even if I did a weekly thing, that's a year. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking the way these people are partying all summer, they're going to be done by the time it's the actual birthday. So then we'll be the
Right.
only one actually left dropping stuff out
It's on the road.
because have you noticed that there's not much after November going on?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Yeah.
But that's a good stretch at any rate. And it's been so heartening to see the enormous response and how much has been put into this celebration. All across the country and in other countries, like you were talking about the Czech Republic, and I know they did the same thing in England. They did their own kind of Route 66 trip. So I think that's fantastic. I think getting out there and meeting people, to me, sharing the experience is one great thing and I want to do a lot more of that, and I will on the caravan. And I also want to do a little just kind of like live love letters from the Mother Road back to my own little audience on Substack. Just the nature and the feeling of being on the road and maybe
Yeah.
do, yeah,
Well, you're more
some
than
video.
welcome to join us anytime on the road. We're going to have the calendar up here in the next,
Oh, that'd be
no, this
terrific.
week, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're just getting some places, the different locations lined up where we're going to broadcast and do all those different
What a
recording
fantastic
sessions
project.
and well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it when we looked at the calendar and looked at everything, the time frame that we had, there wasn't much going on as far as trips and so we thought there would be more people like you and me and other travelers
Right,
because of
right.
the summer, when it first starts out. And so we would try to get as many of those as we can. And the other thing that we noticed too was we hadn't really seen anybody do it county by county.
Right.
Uh,
That's the first time I had heard it
oh,
approached that
good.
way.
Oh,
I
thank
read
you for
your,
saying that because
yeah,
honest to God, I bet I went through 20 different ideas and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay, that's been
I
done. That's
did.
been done.
How
Oh, there's
interesting.
my favorite one. Oh, there's a Kansas Parrot Head Club for Route 66.
Of
The
course.
13.3-mile stretch of Kansas has got a Parrot Club annual event that they get together and party it with Jimmy Buffett on Route
Oh,
66.
that's
That
awesome.
that that was like the officially because again I came from the magazine publishing world and
Yeah,
and when we'd go and speak to different people and talk about the different medias, for example, we'd hold up a newspaper and ask
right.
people, what's your favorite section? And of course, sports,
Right,
a
right.
whole diversity. And then we'd hold up Walleye magazine and be like, what's your favorite section in this? Like,
Aren't they
I
all the
mean, you
same?
want to talk about a niche magazine. It's not even fishing. It's not even freshwater fishing. It's
Right.
just walleye.
Just walleyes.
So, and so
You
that's
just made
that's
me
what
feel better.
but that's what Route 66 reminded me of. It's like, man, this thing has
Yeah,
got more stories than Mother Goose, and that's a good thing.
indeed.
That's
Right.
a good thing,
It
because
is.
that means it inspires people in so many different ways to where
Well, different
it's
walks of life.
talking to you.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
talking to you. So, I mean, it's inspiring people in a lot of different weird ways. On me, it was the bathroom. So, I mean, it's just, hey, hey, works in
Oh, I
mysterious
love
ways, man.
it.
The mother
Right?
road, right? The mother load. Yeah. Sorry. Again, I feel a little bit randy and naughty. Um, well, I suppose we should probably wrap her up here as I'm looking at the clock.
I can't thank you enough for having me on and for your great energy and your terrific spirit, and everything you're doing is just amazing. I see how much content you're putting out, and it's mind-blowing.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, and if you want, feel free to be a part of it. If you got some stops along the road and you want to check in, feel free. We'd love to
Would love to.
document it, Americanaize it, if
That'd
you
be so
will.
fun. Right.
And final thoughts, final words.
No, just thank you and tell everybody get on out there, get on the road. Do it.